Hello, everyone. So I want to do a quick discussion around this concept of identity and belief leading your life and everything that happens. Thomas! Hey! Okay. Hey, everybody. All right. So what I'm talking about today is how your identity and belief lead the unfolding of your life. And I'm practicing putting these abstract concepts in words for the first time in this format. So if anything comes across as unclear or you are more interested in one part or another, would you tell me? So this is the story. Imagine that there is a child, just a little baby thing, and the child is immersed in an environment, and the environment is saying, "Psst, child, you're this. Psst, child, you're that." Thomas, don't distract me. I'm working. Just kidding. I'll come back to that. Hey, Amanda. All right. So what I'm talking about today is how identity and belief lead the unfolding of your life in a really sneaky way. And so I'm talking to this example of a child, and the child gets all this information, not just about who he or she is, but how the world works and what they need to do to survive in it. And so if you saw some of my presentations recently, I've been making survival kind of dovetail into two pieces: psyche survival and physical survival. Hey, Randy. And both, for one reason or another, occur to the mind as equally important. And so when I'm talking about psyche safety, it's basically, am I cool enough to get love? And we will pretty much do anything to protect that idea. Hey, Andreas. Richard, oh my God, this is when I lose my shit. All right, so we're talking about how identity and belief lead the unfolding of your life. And right now I'm talking about psyche safety in the context of how we preserve basically our idea of ourselves. And there is an amazing book called The Mastery of Love that does a great job talking about this. But going back to our discussion for today, so imagine this child, and the child's getting all of this information from outside, and the mom's like, "You're not good at that." And the kid's like, "Noted." And the dad's like, "This is hard in the world." And the child's like, "Noted." And so then the child like walks out into the world and lives that story. Do you see this? It's huge. So it's like we've got these problems that we're trying to solve, but they're usually downstream from an idea about who we are and how things work that is limited and relatively arbitrary. And so whenever you notice you have a recurring problem in your life, rather than try to solve the problem, can you zoom out and ask, is that problem really true? It's kind of trippy, but it's almost like it's like you're given a script, and if your script says you're too much for people to handle, no one will get you, then you will continuously interpret the world in a way that fulfills that destiny. And it's not until you change the stories that you tell yourself that you can change what you experience externally. Thomas, your kids are beautiful. And they're so lucky to see you. Let's go to this example. If someone is imperfect, and there's another great book, I think maybe it's actually just a seminar by Renee Brown, or whatever the hell, The Gift of Imperfect Parenting. But when you show somebody how to navigate imperfections through your own demonstration of owning, loving, and leading, it's like mind-blowing. It's like, oh wait, did everybody see this? We don't have to be perfect. And not only that, it's so beautiful to behold someone else embrace their imperfections. So not only does it remove the pressure off being perfect, but it kind of invites growth forward, because when you're growing, you're generally fucking stuff up one way or the other. And when I say fuck stuff up, I mean it's not going how you think it should, because you're thinking about what the next step should look like, but you don't know. So what I'm talking about today are the ways that identity and belief can a hefty start. When you go out into the world, you might not expect it to be the abundant, loving place it naturally is. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the world and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just these ideas that need to be tweaked to allow for a fuller expression of self in both giving and receiving, or being and receiving. That's all I really want to talk about because I have to go to dance class at 12. Does anybody else want to talk to anything in particular? So I've been using this live space to practice articulating some of the principles that I use in facilitating behavior change through habit book. And it's kind of like I have to word it all better because, yes, amen. Oh, Lucinda, I didn't know you walked in. Thanks for coming. What I'm saying. Okay, so it's like when I'm talking about behavior change, it's like, oh, cool, like I brush my teeth more, or like I save more money. And like, yeah, those things add up and make a big difference, but they're not like compelling enough. Like they don't come from down here. But when I'm really talking about habit book and I'm really talking about transformation, what I'm talking about is the transformation of love. So they're habits of focus in the way that you like query the world, and they're habits of interpretation, how you assign meaning and therefore experience the world. And they are habits of love, meaning like, do you let yourself grow into life? Are you alive while you're alive? If you know what I'm saying. If you want to know a secret, I eat like so fucking clean, it's ridiculous. But one of my friends recommended an energy drink. And so I feel like a chipmunk right now. All right. Anybody? Yeesh! Oh my God. I know sometimes people drop in by accident, so my response might be over-exaggerated to whether or not they actually stay, but nevertheless, I'm excited. Okay, so that was all I had to talk about today. If you're just joining, I'm going to do a quick wrap up, and basically the idea was how your fundamental identity and beliefs about the way that the world works and the way that you relate to the world shape how you experience it, and how you experience is how you make decisions. And so it becomes this like self-fulfilling prophecy where if you've got this idea that you have to do something to be loved, if you have to achieve something to be loved, then you will approach the world that way. But where did you get that idea, and is it real? And that's basically freedom as far as I can tell. Oh, my finger. So when I was opening up something for my dad, I accidentally like sliced right through it. So you could like kind of like see through it. So I've been taking very good care of it and keeping it bandaged. It's almost sealed. But the way that I whip about, it makes sense to keep it covered until it's completely like back together. Thank you for your care, though. I will actually be appearing on Thomas's podcast on June 30th. If you haven't checked out his work, it's amazing. He's got a really cool blend of like practicality and spirituality in a way that's like, oh, this feels nice. So he does abundance work, prosperity work, and is also a unity minister, or almost. Are you, Dane? Yeah, I think are you loose in the wild now? I think so. But I love his work, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on his podcast again. I don't know what we're going to talk about this time. I suggested something in scheduling, but I can't remember what it is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. Another thing, We Are Body Language, which was like walked in through the chat line, has an amazing dance class at 12 o'clock. Saturday and Sunday, and the choreography is like complex, but it's super fun, and you get to like whip your head around and like your hips and stuff, and I totally recommend. I absolutely love it, and plan most of my life around attending those live digital classes. All right, thank you so much for coming, everybody. Great to see you.